Unlike Ibrahim Traoré, the military junta of Guinea, General Mamadi Doumbouya, has gone unnoticed since he took over power in 2021. However, recently he did something that has caught our attention and has set an example for African leaders. But what did he do? Well, last week, he announced that all Guinean ministers have been banned from traveling outside the country and ordered all those already abroad to return immediately. According to his administration's general secretary, this directive is effective till the end of this year. But why did General Mamadi decide to take this decision? And what good will it do for the country? Let's find out. First of all, this news caught our attention because it's the exact opposite happening in many African countries today. The fact is that the majority of African leaders are famous for spending more time outside their countries than inside. Instead of them staying in their countries and focusing on fixing the issues in their country, they prefer to hop on their private jet and gallivant around the world. How can a leader of a country successfully lead his country if he is not always in the country? This is why we applaud the decision of the military leader of Guinea in placing his ministers on a travel ban. In the statement released by General Mamadi, it said, "It is required of all ministers on missions abroad to finish up and return to national territory." So why did General Mamadi decide to take this decision? Well, according to the government spokesperson Ousmane Gawal Diallo, the decision was made to cut back on public spending. He said that the measure reinforces government efficacy while assuring an optimal management of the state's resources. This is brilliant. You see, when these politicians travel abroad, they do not fund these trips from their personal pockets but from public funds. So billions of dollars that should have been used to boost the economy and invest in various infrastructures would be used to fund the frivolous trips of these politicians. No doubt they would say that these trips are official trips on behalf of their countries, but if you check closely, the majority of the trips are a waste and have no significant benefit for the country. If you recall, a few months ago, President Ruto did not hesitate to buy a private jet with taxpayers' money, despite the fact that the citizens of Kenya were going through hard times as a result of increased taxes. The annoying thing is that he staunchly defended his purchase, saying that it was necessary and even lied that his friends bought it for him. No doubt a president needs to travel outside their country for important meetings, but as a Kenyan foreign policy analyst, Prof. Macharia Munene said, the majority of these trips are actually wasteful. According to Professor Macharia, some of these trips are personal glorifications, not so much for the country. Imagine that for the first 18 months of President Ruto's presidency, he has spent more than 3 months outside Kenya. Just this year, he has traveled to Italy, France, the US, Haiti, Uganda, the DRC, the UAE, and several other Western countries. In fact, since his inauguration as president in 2022, Ruto's travel schedule has become very hectic. Between September 2022 and December 2023, President Ruto has traveled abroad at least twice every month. In May 2023, for instance, he made 5 trips, moving across African countries to Europe and the US. Now, aside from the fact that the frequency of his trips is a huge problem, what about the cost of funding all these trips? Report from the Controller of Budget in Kenya, an independent office that oversees government spending, revealed that since Ruto was elected, there has been a significant increase in the office of the president's travel expenditure. For last year alone, the overall spending for both domestic and foreign travel was over 1.3 billion Kenya shilling. This is insane. Imagine how the economy of Kenya would be if this amount was invested in the economy. But guess what? President Ruto and his officials do not see this frivolous spending as a waste. In fact, his spokesperson has defended his trips, claiming that the trips are to help address the problems in the country. President Ruto has also defended himself, saying that he does not travel like a tourist and that the trips are necessary to get foreign investment and create employment for Kenyans abroad. He also added that he had secured more than 300,000 job opportunities through negotiations and that his trip to Japan secured deals worth more than $2.3 billion. But if this was true, why then are the citizens of Kenya still complaining about the hardship in the country? Why are the youths agitating for him to leave? Why are Kenyan citizens still complaining about his wasteful trips? Before we proceed, This is to remind you to like, subscribe, and share this video. Now, to make it seem as if he is listening to the people, Ruto announced that he had cut its civil service travel budget by 50%. But guess what? This hasn't stopped Ruto from undertaking these trips because he believes that they are beneficial. But what about the Nigerian president, Bola Tinubu? If you think that President Ruto's is bad, then you would be absolutely shocked by that of President Tinubu. He takes wasteful spending to another level. While Nigeria is drowning in insecurity and economic hardship, President Tinubu has become a tourist in chief. In the 8 months since he became president, he has been out of Nigeria for more than 2 months. President Tinubu has visited France more than 3 times, for reasons he has refused to share with Nigerians. In June 2023, just 3 weeks after assuming office, Mr. Tinubu traveled to Paris for a 2-day climate summit. But guess what? Tinubu had already been there months earlier, to rest as he puts it, and planned the transition shortly after being elected president. From Paris, he traveled to the UK to meet with the former Nigerian president, who was also resting in the UK after the elections. This is not surprising because Nigerian presidents are famous for taking occasional periods to rest outside the country. It seems that they can never rest in their country. Now, 1 week later, Tinubu traveled to Guinea-Bissau for a meeting of West African bloc ECOWAS, followed by a trip to Nairobi. In August, he busted Benin Republic, and in September, he visited India, the United Arab Emirates, and the US, as well as France. Finally, he stayed in Nigeria for the whole of October, but then resumed his tour in November, visiting Saudi Arabia, Guinea, Germany, and Dubai. With all these frequent trips, it's no wonder that President Tinubu doesn't have time to rule his country and solve problems. But like President Ruto, Tinubu has defended these trips, claiming that they are necessary to attract foreign investment. But how much foreign investment has these trips attracted to Nigeria? There is no doubt that it is certainly not up to the total cost of all his trips. According to GovSpend, a civic tech platform that tracks government spending, President Tinubu has spent at least, meaning it could be more, the sum of $2.2 million on domestic and foreign travel in the first 6 months of his presidency. This amount is more than 36% of the budgeted amount. Imagine how much that figure will be totaling right now. Again, this is insane. But it's not just the leaders of Kenya and Nigeria that are involved in this act. It has been the norm for the missing Cameroon president, Paul Biya. Paul Biya, who is one of the longest ruling presidents in Africa, is notable for his unique style of ruling. Everyone in Cameroon knows that their president is never in the country. This is why he was nicknamed Cameroon's absentee president. But Biya is even worse because he is always outside the country, not for diplomatic reasons, but for personal reasons, doing God knows what. It has been reported that his favorite place is the Intercontinental Hotel in Geneva, Switzerland, and when he is back in Cameroon, he stays out of the limelight and sometimes retreats to his home village, leaving the day-to-day running of the country to the Prime Minister, Philemon Yang. One wonders why he still decided to rule if he is not interested in leading the country. But maybe he is finally tired because since April 2024, the president has gone missing and no one knows where he is. The Cameroonian authorities have prohibited any media coverage regarding President Biya's health, following rampant speculation about his well-being. This ban was announced by Interior Minister Paul Atanga Ng, who stated that discussions on the president's health are a matter of national security and warned that violators would face legal consequences. President Biya, who is 91 years old and has been in power for over 41 years, has not been seen in public since September 8, 2024, when he attended a China-Africa forum in Beijing. The government claims he is in good health and is currently on a private visit to Europe, with assurances that he will return to Cameroon soon. The media ban has raised significant concerns about press freedom in Cameroon. Journalists have expressed that this restriction infringes on their rights and could lead to self-censorship. The Committee to Protect Journalists has condemned the ban, arguing that the health of the president is a matter of public interest, especially given his long tenure and the potential implications for national stability. Officials have dismissed the rumors about Biya's health as pure fantasy and have emphasized that the president is in good health. They have also established monitoring units to track online discussions about his condition. As speculation continues, Many Cameroonians are eagerly awaiting President Biya's return and a potential public appearance to quell the ongoing rumors. But what about the presidents of Congo, Uganda, the Gambia, Namibia, and Sierra Leone? All these African leaders have been accused of always traveling outside their countries with little or nothing to show for it. This is why we applaud the actions of General Mamadi for banning travels outside the country. All African leaders should follow his steps and stay in their countries. If African leaders learn to stay in their countries, maybe they will learn what the needs of the people are and find solutions to the people's problems. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.